Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the First 15 Accountability Party with me, Melinda B. Powers from Intentional Professionals. I am happy to be here. It has just been so much going on. I kind of miss you guys. This has become such a habit now. I'm looking forward to this and wondering what kind of wins we're going to hear about, what kind of me times, and being able to share what's been on my mind with you in hopes that it can help you the way that it has helped me. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Let's just get right on into it. Wins. So, if you're new here, the way that the call goes is the first 5 minutes we talk about our wins from last week. The second 5 minutes is me giving you some pep talk, inspiration, empowerment. And then the last 5 minutes is everyone setting a goal for the week. The idea is that if you continue to show up every week, your me time from this week will be your win next week. And it just goes in a cycle. That's ideal. It doesn't always happen that way, but getting in the habit of expecting for your goals to be met and other people holding you to that, like not necessarily that we're making you do it, but that once you announce it to the public, then there's an expectation on you like, oh, I've said that I'm going to do this thing. Like even to mention Errol, he sent me some photos of his DIY project that he completed because he wants me to know that he did it. You know, he wants to be held accountable for that. And so that's the kind of culture that we are creating here. That is what I truly believe in the depths of my soul. It's just how I'm made up and how I'm wired, and I want to be a support for people that might not be easy for you. You may be isolated, you may be, not in a great environment for that kind of support. And I want to help. Hey, Errol, there you are. And I want to help be that for you. So again, so wins. I'm getting off track there. So wins. So for me, last week, my win was getting the platform for the membership. That didn't quite take shape the way I expected. Still working through that. But I think my bigger win was some audiobooks that I listened to, and they really inspired me and got me to reflect on my mindset. And that's what we're going to talk about this week. And then I started a book yesterday. Oh my God. I wish I had started it sooner. I think I might have put it in my Audible like a year ago, and I started it yesterday, and I wish I had started it then because it's a very long book, but it is super inspiring, and I'm really enjoying getting back into reading. I used to read at least 2 books a week, and I've gotten like way off track, way too much social media consumption. Ugh. So I'm getting back into the swing of reading more and taking in ideas to contemplate to help me challenge my thought process and my environment. Oh, hey Ivo. So you said your win for last week was successfully completing the first phase for development for a new contract gig. Congratulations. I got to get with you, ma'am. I know you're busy, but let's talk. Oh, that's very awesome. What about you, Errol? I don't see a win up here. Come on, we gotta keep it moving. Um, but yeah, just like I said, sometimes what you expect your win to be is not what your win will be. And it's nice when those surprises come along that really shift you. And in a few minutes, I'll be talking about what I'm going to talk about for this week with you. And it has all to do with mindset. And that's something that I've been working on. As much as I have great ideas and vision, and I am an executor, I think the mindset part is always the hardest when it comes to, of course, things that I've never done or things that I've never seen done. Like maybe, we get to see everyone's highlight reel. I think this is part of the issue. We get to see the highlight reel of people who are successful, but we don't usually get to see what happens leading up to the success. So it looks easier than it is. It looks shorter in terms of time than it took. And I think it really disillusions us when it comes to what is required to be successful, especially in business. I think there's a really toxic culture in entrepreneurship about, you have the girl boss culture, you have the grind, don't sleep, get up at 4 a.m. That's the only way you can be successful. It's just like all these competing narratives that none of them are the magic bullet. The magic bullet really is, and I wrote about this in the blog a couple months ago, it's about consistency. It's about making a decision that this is the goal, this is what I want, this is what I'm working towards, and then working towards it consistently. Like that's the magic bullet. There's no magic bullet. All right. So you apply for and receive a scholarship for a certification course. Awesome. Congratulations. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that as well. And with that, it's time to transition into the next portion, which is the blog topic for the week. It's about changing your mindset to grow in business. So we're talking about mindset today. And continuing off of what I was just saying, the books that I mentioned that I was listening to, the first one was one I had been listening to the week before that, but I went back because I think I missed the end. I think I thought I finished it, but I had like a little bit left. And I'm so glad I listened to it. And it was so funny because the author mentioned Prince. And if you know me, I'm a huge Prince fan. And so I was very delighted to hear, I'm gonna pump my seat up, sorry. I was very delighted to hear a story that I'm very familiar with about him, but it just really inspired me. The fact that if you know anything about his story, Prince, he created his first album in 1978, but he didn't really hit like mass success until 1984 with Purple Rain. That was was it fourth album? 1, 2, 3, fifth album. So he had For You, he had Prince, he had Dirty Mind, he had Controversy, he had 1999, then Purple Rain. So he had been in the business for a minute, and only like his core fans knew him most of that time, but the general public didn't know. And so right before Purple Rain, during kind of the dirty between, well, like the controversy-ish 1999 years, or just before 1999, his band opened up for the Rolling Stones that year, and they got booed. They got booed off the stage. They booed like their whole performances, threw things at them like bottles, tomatoes. It was just crazy. Like the stories are really interesting because the Revolution has been on podcasts and things since he's passed away, and they've told these stories in detail. But they literally got booed off, like in LA, on big venues, because Rolling Stones fans didn't really understand. And we all know Prince was very different. So that was just something new people had never seen before. And especially not from a Black artist. He was basically on the cusp of rock and R&B, which was not, I mean, if you were alive back then, you know that the radio was very racially segregated. And so were award shows. Go back and watch some clips and you'll see what I'm talking about. And so he was really on a path no one had ever walked. And it would have made probably the average person, I know it might have made me give up if I got booed that bad. Because if the Rolling Stones thought I was good enough to open for them, why wouldn't their fans agree? But what he did, and this is what I love, and this is what the author highlighted, when they booed them off the stage a few times, that last time, because I don't think they didn't complete that tour with them, they just did however many shows, he decided not that he wasn't ever going to perform again, that he would never be an opening act for any other group or act again. He took that a very radical, hard stance, like, I'm not giving up, but I'm definitely not being the opening act for somebody else. I'm the main attraction. He made that decision, and he stuck to that his whole career. He never had to open for anybody. And I really respect when those shifts happen and people just dig in and make those huge leaps, because that's where success is on the other side. That you have the wildest successes when you make those big leaps. Like no one would have expected him to make that big of a leap at that time because he hadn't blown up yet. But then, I think the following year, that's when Purple Rain hits, and it's a success. It was like on number one on the charts for like half of the year 1984, like for 6 whole months. So it's like it paid off for him, but he had to get very clear about what he wanted and what he was and wasn't going to do, and then he had to stick with it, and that took time. And he could have failed. It's possible. Failure is always a possibility. But if you know anything about mindset and anything about just really getting locked in on a goal, you know that when you have that belief, it's real tough to not succeed, even if it doesn't turn out the way you think. And so I'm just very inspired by that whole notion, because I have a lot of really big things that I'm working towards that are very scary because I've never done them. And yeah, so I know a lot of you are in the same boat, and I want to inspire you. We're all on this journey together. That's why this support system, this accountability is super important. But now I got to get to the end because I'm running over. Those few minutes go by so fast. So here we are, me time. It's goal setting, guys and gals. So what's your me time? Me time, for those who are new here, most impactful item, meaning give me something that if you completed it this week, you would feel like you just conquered the world. Like whether it's something old on your list that you just haven't gotten to, if it's something new that you're eager to get done, something that you just haven't held your feet to the fire, anything like that. And so I guess I'll start because I usually do that, right? So my me time this week, this is hard because I have so many things I want to do. And I'm doing a lot of home projects too. That's kind of my jam. Okay. I'm going to let Arrow start because I'm a little stuck, guys. All right. You said you're staining and finishing cabinets from your laundry room project. You're also applying for a global operations business strategy program with Bank of America today. Now, that sounds exciting. I wish you the very best with that, Mr. White, and I expect to hear more about it. Ivo, your most impactful item this week is to make significant strides with the media development for your contract work. That's amazing. Yeah, big strides. So for me, I have to be bolder about creating and producing the abundance in my life. So I'm being very candid with you guys. When you have existed in an employee capacity, you don't think like that generally because you just come to expect, okay, this is what I am paid. This is what I do to get the money, blah, blah, blah. And you just go, it just gets a consistent cycle that it's very, nothing too wild about that. When you step out of that framework, I won't call it matrix, but that framework, and now you are expected to be the producer, that is a different mindset. And I've done it before. So it's very funny that I am feeling like a fish out of water, and I'm doing this for the third time. So my main goal is to get locked in on the most specific way for me to consistently produce without feeling like I am only expecting a finite amount of things, whether that's money or partnership or whatever, but being able to be more of a creator and a dictator of that than just a receiver. Like I'll take whatever comes. Like that attitude can't exist. And I think for me, there are some mindset things that I still need to work on to get me on a more like a more solid footing with that. It's working because things are fine, but I need to do some more fine tuning because I want to go to the next level with that. I want to be at the level where I can just create what I need. Oh, okay, this is what I want to do. Oh, I'll do this, and now I can do that. That hasn't quite set in yet, and that's where I am. So I'm sorry, Rebecca. Hi. Thanks for joining. Saturday was the first time you spent time with friends and was in the moment without working or responding. Good for you. That is amazing. I know that's a big win for you. Do you have a me time for us? We've kind of gone over a little bit. I don't normally do that, but if you have a goal for this week that you like to share, please get that in the next minute. Ivo, yes, it's such a huge thing, and you don't think it would be huge. You feel like, well, once I'm making the money, it's fine. But it's a lot that's kind of hiding in there. You don't really see until certain moments come, and you're like, wait a minute. That's not what I thought my reaction would be. So I am definitely examining that more, being much more conscious of how I can edit that however it needs to be edited, and doing things I've never done. So I mean, I've done a bit when it comes to this, but I think there are still a lot of things I haven't pushed myself. I haven't fully gotten out of my comfort zone in a while. It's been some months at this point. And so that it's more of a mind exercise for me this week than it is of producing results. I will be producing results, but I know that I got to tinker in here. That's going to be my focus for the week, is really, if there's any blockages or whatever they might be, figuring them out instead of just being like, I don't know why I think that. We kind of take that stance. All right, Rebecca, you said, I'm believing that my gifts will make room for me, and they don't all have to be the income producing talents that only people assume for me, but becoming more clear with others and openly sharing more of my capabilities. That's a good one. Hey, Billy, we got a new person joining. You'll be spending this week giving attention only to coaching my son's baseball team. Yay! That sounds like fun. Thanks for joining us. And then Rebecca, I don't know how to. Okay, had to hide then. Okay, long-winded way of saying my goal this week is to share more about your capabilities with the world. Thank you. No, I got you. Thank you for clarifying that. And then family time is me time. Okay, that's a good one. I think we have to also remember that recharges us, being able to be around people that we care about, that care about us, that support us, that inspire us. And I talk about that in the blog too this week, where you have to seek accountability when you are looking to conquer bigger goals, simply because, but I say that kind of a difference in what you said, but like, try to see people outside family and friends, simply because sometimes they're going to be a little softer on us because they do care about us. And it's nice to get a very outside perspective on it, because when outside people come in, they see things you don't see. And I experience that as a consultant all the time, where I'm coming into an organization to assess them. And I'm like, well, what about this? Or did you ever think about that? And sometimes they're just kind of blind spots. You just have to be honest about. I mean, we have those as individuals too, but as organizations, we're just a collection of individuals. So family time, yes. And in the context of the business stuff, seeking that outside, because I know for me, I have, I've never, I hate to say this publicly, but I've never hired a coach before. I have used other means of coaching and consulting that haven't required me to make a huge investment. And I think it's time for me to take that leap. So that's part of those breakthroughs I need to have if I want to do more, because I'm helping people do more by them employing me. But now I have to also do the same. So that I just said that. Didn't mean to say that. Definitely didn't mean to go over 5 minutes, but that sometimes happens. And I'm open to being pushed out of my comfort zone too. This is not just about you guys. It's about me too. We're a community now together, and we're on a journey. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. And I will be here next week, 9 a.m. to 9:15. We're not going to go over next time if I can help it, but I don't know. Maybe the call needs to be longer. We'll think about some changes. But in the meantime, enjoy your week. I hope that all the things that you endeavor this week will be fruitful, and I will speak to you next time. Bye-bye.